Using the long guard as the bridge to enter on somebody that's giving you pressure. When this guy's boxing me up, I use the long guard. I put my hand open on his forehead like a stiff arm. I think of it like the hollow tip bullet, where it enters in sleek and thin and then it spreads out. If he gives me stuff to hook onto and attach onto, then I'll take that. If he gives me nothing, then I'll just stay covered up and I'll just elbows from here, and I'll just keep monitoring that head. The more he throws his hands and gives me something, I'll spread to here. If he gives me the other hand, I'll spread to here. And then I'm attaching. I'm grabbing the tricep and bicep. I'm fixing my foot position and entering the clinch from there. So the long guard is my bridge when I want to get in, or if I want to create space and have more distance to be able to throw off of. Okay? So the drill is going to be that you're just moving around, giving some hands nice and light, and then when he's boxing me, I'll box him back into this long guard. He's going to keep throwing fire at me. I'm going to look to spread and attach onto the biceps. I'm going to keep monitoring your head. I'm going to stay protected the whole time. You're not going to throw both your hands at the same time. So I'm not really going to spread both my hands wide like this at the same time. Okay? When you box me, I'll box you back, and then I'll use this long guard here. If you just threw that hand and I got out to the long guard, 9 times out of 10, you're going to throw the other hand. I'm going to go this way. Okay? Remember, like I said, it's like a slice, but in the opposite direction, and it's like a hollow tip bullet that enters and then spreads out after entry. So if he's throwing straight punches at me, I can be in my long guard here and be protected from straight punches. If I enter straight when he throws that straight punch, I'll enter straight and then I'll open wide. Okay? If he throws the other side and I'm on this long guard already, I'll switch and be behind this bicep. I'll keep my head behind my own arm. Entering the clinch, I teach 3 main ways to enter the clinch. When you're talking about entering the clinch, it's all about filling the space and then closing the gap. So you can either strike your way in to fill the space and then close the gap, or you guys are filling the space with your boxing. Long guard fills the space, then you get in and you close the gap. Okay? Or you're using your striking to get these guys to cover up, and then you're using malleable guards to pull, push, turn, fold those guards into the entry. Okay? But it's 100% about fill the space, close the gap. The long guard is like a bridge. You can fill the space and then use the long guard and then cross the bridge, or they can be filling the space. You use the long guard to close the gap. When you're closing the gap with the long guard, once you make contact, that's called attaching. So once you attach, then you use that outward slice to be able to block and attach onto the biceps. I always teach clinching that when you make those grabs, you're grabbing one hand at a time, long guard, and entering the clinch, and then from there, you would stay in the clinch and start building. So one hand gets in, other hand enters, you close the gap, and then you're looking for positions. The positions go from bicep control to collar tie, double collar tie, and lock. Once you lock, you can look for double overs. That's the head elbows in front of the collarbones, pulling the head down. You have a cross seatbelt position. That's where one's over and one's under. The one that's over, same. You want to keep it in front of the collarbones. And you want to change your orientation as much as possible. You want to be lifting that guy's arm up, dragging the opposite one down. So when you have an under hook, you want to be constantly keeping that guy off balance by lifting his arm up. Okay? So I want you to enter the clinch with your long guard. I want you to look after your entry how you're going to get your hands together and upgrade from your collar ties into lock positions. You're trying to get to a lock position. In clinching, it's 100% all about upgrading positions. If you're not improving your position, the referee breaks you apart. If you've improved your position to the best possible position where you're at like a lock and your head's in there and you're grinding and you got that guy bound up really well, you got to be scoring knees, constantly improving position. Okay? Constantly staying active and working in there. When you say pinched, you mean your arm gets stuck against your body, like pinned in here? Yeah. Okay, that happens quite a bit. All right? So when you've entered and you're hitting now, you're getting like pinned in here.
Yeah, and then I end up doing all this like stuff.
Right, okay. So what you can do is a couple things. You can either roll your arm and try to beat the elbow, and now you can get to that under his armpit position, or you can frame out and you'd have to a little bit change your orientation. So if you got me stuck in here, I can roll out and beat the elbow, and now I've changed my orientation. I can frame you out, or I can isolate your arm and lock you down inside of there. Or if I'm pinned in here, okay, that's a different kind of thing though.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Are you talking about you're in this position where your head's getting pulled down, or you're talking about your arm is pinned in here? So if we're talking that your arm is getting pinned in here, your orientation, you can change your orientation with your body. It's way easier to move your body than to move your arm sometimes. Okay. He can hold your arm still, but he can't hold your whole body still. Makes sense? So when your arm gets pinned in here, I might roll it out and go to this under grab position and then work from there. At least my arm is free and I'm using it. Or if it gets pinned, I can change my orientation and slide out to bicep control again.
Okay. So
okay.
Go up
and I will purposely pin people's hands against their body like that and get them stuck. You're better off when your hand is stuck in here, you're better off rolling to this under grab position and clinching high on the back than having your hand stuck in here. If you can't frame out and get that open again, roll your hand down underneath. Try to beat the elbow. If you can't beat the elbow, lift the guy's arms up, clinch up high on his back and lift under his armpits and get this to happen to him. And then you can score knees under there. You can beat the elbow and you can frame out or isolate the arm. Depends on what position you're in, but there's definitely options. But having your hand pinned in here is bad news for you. You need your hand to be working, both hands. To me, cross-facing is all about creating space. You're using the cross-face to create space. Very similar to the way that you use a long guard. But you have to upgrade from there. So if he's clinching me and I use this cross-face, it's to create space so then I can swim in and get better control. I'm not going to stay on this cross-face position and just knee him and then stay there. I want to constantly be upgrading. I'm either all the way in or I'm all the way out. When we're talking about clinching, I'm either in all the way and I'm upgrading positions and looking to get into the lock, or I'm all the way out and I'm not playing the clinching game at all. So when you're applying the crossface, you might be stopping them from clinching and getting a lock on you, but as soon as you create space, you want to upgrade. You can crossface and land a knee to be able to upgrade. All right, but it's all about improving your position or creating enough space that you can get away and be all the way out and start kickboxing again. One guy's doing the long guard, entering the clinch. Once he enters clinch, now you're both clinching. That's when you want to use the crossface. When he gets you in this double collar tie and there's no space for you to swim, then you crossface and swim in, and now you're getting inside. But if you're stuck here and you stay at crossface and you don't swim in, you just keep trying to get him off you with the crossface, you could be stuck at the end of his arms and he's just gonna fucking knee you into that open space. All right, so the escape from double collar tie is to crossface, but once you crossface and create the space, now you got to swim in there and get to the inside bicep control or create enough space that you can pop his arm off with your shoulder. Okay, those are really the two big escapes. When he has me this way, I create space with the crossface, and then I can swim my arms up in here and start peeling them off. Okay? Or I can punch him through here with my shoulder and create space, pop him off this way. Or I can punch over the top, and I like to pull this opposite arm down, so I'll punch over while I'm pulling this hand down this way. In your lock positions, you have double overs over the top of his shoulders, collarbone, and anytime you go past bicep control, head position is huge. So as soon as I get to single collar tie, I'll look for head position. Double collar tie and lock, head position is paramount. I have to include it. Otherwise, I'm not controlling you enough, especially in the lock position. If you're in lock without head control, the guy's not really stuck. He's not locked. Head position is fucking huge. Head wrestling. Yeah, put your forehead like where your horns would be if you were a goat or a ram or a fucking bull. Think about, and then I use this piece of my head to put it into your cheekbones, under your nose, into your jawline, under your chin. Okay, especially if I'm a little bit shorter than the guy. If he's got a massive height difference, that's a whole different clinching element. Okay, but when I'm inside and I got fucking even height, or you're like maybe a little bit taller than me, jawline, under your chin, pressing it where your eye cheekbones are, all nerve rich under here. All right, head position's huge. My lock double overs with head position. Or I can have lock and I have one over, one under, but the lock is still this gable grip underneath. It's still the same. Okay, and I still want to make sure that this is going in front of him. And this is lifting. So now his arm's going up, and this is staying locked on in head control.
So this position is all about like head control. Because I was gonna ask, what makes this like advantageous? Because I feel like we have the same like lock.
When we're over under, my orientation and my head position is the thing that separates you from me. When you're in double overs, naturally I'm in double unders, and I'll close that gap and lock you from there still, and I'll look to create scrambles or improve my position. When I'm in double unders, you're in double overs. So even if and then this is where I'll be looking to create that space, crossface, swim in, or beat the elbows. If I can beat the elbows, now I'm here and I'm technically in a better position than you. If I can keep my head buried and avoid getting elbowed in the head, I'm in a better position than you. I can dump from there. I can knee from there. I can upgrade my positions from there. If I beat the elbows, I can get over the arm and cross face through from there. Okay? Swim one arm up. I can get to cross seatbelt. Swim my other arm up. I can upgrade into double overs. Double overs is the best position you can be in Muay Thai. Cross seatbelt would be the next best position, second best. And depending on where my orientation is and where your arms are, I'll be in double unders to be safe, to create space, pull you in, to take the space away. It's all about like how you control the space in the clinch. Those are the three main positions: double overs, a seatbelt over under or under over, or double unders. And then there's different like elements that you have to look for in each of those positions. Okay, because if I have my hands, just because I'm in double overs, but my elbows aren't in the right spot, my double overs are shit. If I'm in double unders, but I don't have a good position, you got your elbows in front of me, my head's not in the right position, it's not that great. If I'm in seatbelt and you're in seatbelt, that over under, under over, if I don't have a good orientation, if I don't have good head position, if I'm not locking your arms down and like manipulating your spine and your body, we're basically in the same position and nobody's fucking winning shit. When you're in the clinch, you're in clinching range, so the pulse is different. The pulse is from like boxing, kickboxing range, and then I'm in here, I'm out here, I'm in here, I'm out here. That's pulsing, right? And then you spark. That's where either I hit you or you hit me, but we could be pulsing at kick range, and this can be a spark. This can be a spark. The ranges get longer or shorter depending on the distance between our stances. So we're either 2 stances away, a stance and a half away, or we close the gap. We close the gap. So like I was saying, the clinching thing is all about filling the space, close the gap. And now once I've closed the gap, I'm in clinch range. There's no more pulse. I'm in clinch range, and there's either space or no space. If there's space, knees are coming up the middle. There's room for me to fucking elbow. If there's no space, our hips are in like this, and I'm fucking tight, and there's no space for the knees. My head's in, and there's no space for the elbows. When I have double overs, and then you cross face me, I push your elbow over, and I go to this arm triangle piece. That's like numero uno, the biggest one. And most people don't want their fucking arms stuck and trapped like head and arm choke, right? Because then I'm isolating you and I'm changing my orientation and you're fucked from there. So it's a real big get when I can push your arm across your body and now you're stuck like this. There's not a ton of things that you're going to do mechanically when I have you and I'm locked on you, or I'm in double overs and I'm in a good plumb. You need that space to be able to start swimming through. I never want your hand on my face, but if I'm here and you're cross facing, but you're not getting out enough, I'm just going to keep ripping your head down and doing this to you.
Mm-hmm.
you're not in a good position from there. So that's what I was saying to him, being stuck at the end of crossface where I'm just ripping your head off, you're not doing well. You've created space, but if you stay at the end of crossface, so that's what I'm saying to you too, like there's not a ton of stuff that you're even going to want to do to counter the crossface. Just keep dragging his fucking head down. If he's stupid enough to stay in the crossface and not look for upgrades, you're fucking winning. The crossface is there to create space. So if I have you here and you create space, well, you didn't fucking do anything. All you do is create space, but I'm still going to hit you with these knees and you're not upgrading positions. Well, I don't have to counter anything because you're fucking still stuck in my clinch. You're just putting your hand in my face. You didn't break my posture. You didn't upgrade and get to a better position. You didn't improve any of the things you were doing. All you do is create space and then just stand there. So now you're sleeping on the thing that you did well. Staying in the crossface too long is no good. You're not stopping me from, right? And I can just separate from the clinch and hit you. So if you're not breaking me off with that, if you didn't crossface me and get complete separation, and you didn't crossface me to upgrade, you crossfaced for no reason. You just created a bunch of space. You're still in a bad position, and I'm just going to fucking hit you. So if I can push your arm over and re-clinch you, get tighter, have your arm stuck to your head and isolated across your body, that's good for me. But otherwise, I'll just keep ripping your head down and fucking kneeing the shit out of you. When you crossface, you want to break my posture. You want my head to be like back and sideways. And then you want to take advantage of the space that you just created. But if you're not doing that, you're not fucking winning. The only reason I'll push your arm over at that point is because you broke my posture and I need your hand off my face.